Hey, Savannah.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Not too bad. You are orange and blue today.
Yeah, it's actually a old DynamicsCon virtual shirt.
Oh,
it was one of
nice.
their first one from the COVID era.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So hello.
Afternoon.
Yeah. Here it's not, it's noon, but okay. Let's see.
How are you enjoying the US, Kenny?
I'm good. I just need to see if there's any controversial things on my whiteboard here, but I think it's all good. Yeah, it's treating me good here in the Midwest. So had a beautiful summer, and still not winter yet. So that's gonna be good. Where are you located, Andrew?
Cambridge. So,
Cambridge. Okay.
it's pretty
So
warm.
this is
It's
evening.
pretty, yeah, it's like
Cambridge, UK, or
yeah, Cambridge, UK, yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so it's yeah, the day's done basically. So yeah, come on here to see how good they can grill you. I'm just
Awesome.
kidding. No,
I love Cambridge. It's a beautiful city. I've been speaker there for the SQL Saturday for a couple of times.
right.
So yeah.
We do have a there's a D365 user group, a small one. So
Okay.
yeah, like it's more Power Platforms CRM, but I tried to get a few BC things in from time to time.
Yeah, nice. And Aaron, where are you located in the world?
I'm in Salt Lake City, Utah, USA.
Okay.
So, Andrew, was that Cambridge, New Zealand, by chance?
No, Cambridge, England.
Oh, okay. I was just processing an order from Cambridge, New Zealand, so that would have been interesting.
So whereabouts are you coming from, Mike? Are you also Utah? No.
Sorry, I was muted.
It's okay.
Jamaica.
Jamaica.
Not the good Jamaica.
Not the good Jamaica. What does that mean?
It means Jamaica, New York.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Got it. And it's funny with the US that the reuse of city names, like you would imagine, like why not put Jamaica Prime or Jamaica 2 or New Jamaica instead of yeah. I even saw a small, I think, city called Kolding in Denmark, not small, compared to the US, small. And I think we have a calling here in North Dakota as well. So interesting people taking city names from where they are located or where they came from, I guess.
That's above my pay grade.
Nice office image. That's not an image. That's my office here in Fargo. So not virtual at all. And Bethany, where are you dialing in from?
We are located in Indiana.
India. Okay. So you're the true superhero user group.
No, Indiana, not India.
Oh, Indiana. Yeah. But this is Indiana user group, right? This one.
Yeah. Alrighty. I guess we can go ahead and get started. I do suspect that there will be some stragglers as we go forward. Can you guys see my screen? Yes, I'm getting thumbs up. Okay, awesome.
Yes.
Before Kenny gets started, I just wanted to do a brief introduction. My name is Savannah Dill. I am the meetup leader for Indiana. I am actually in Indiana, so I am in the more northern part in the Michiana area. All right, and before we get started, I don't know if Liz or any of the other Doug people will be joining this call, but in case not, I just wanted to quickly go through a few slides regarding Doug. Doug stands for Dynamics User Group, and if you aren't already a part of the robust community that they offer, I really do recommend it. I'll kind of go through a few things of what they offer, but they are a user group. They do provide a lot of video content, training programs. They do conferences that are very fun. And it's also a free community, which is a really big highlight for a lot of people. As far as what meetups are going to be a place where we all connect. And obviously you guys have already done a great job of that because you found this meetup through the Meetup platform. I will show that really quick too before Kenny gets rolling with the AMA. We do have a lot of events coming up through the end of the year, as well as, because you guys are here, I'll give you a sneak peek of what's coming in 2025. Backpedaling a little bit, I mentioned that Doug does a lot for the community. They have forums, so if you're having struggles with someone, as well as with the Microsoft forums, you can go and ask questions. And usually, if you're having a problem with something, someone else has also had the same problem. So it's a really great place to connect with a lot of people regarding a lot of different applications. So there's a focus on BC, CE, F&O, GP, and then the Power Platform. They do a lot of other things as well, such as conferences. They have DynamicsCon Virtual and DynamicsCon Live. And they also do regional meetups. So here are the regional meetups if you're in the Midwest or anywhere in the US. And now even in Canada, they are doing a few different regional meetups. The one in Ohio, which is closest to myself, actually just happened this week and ended yesterday. It seemed like they had a pretty good turnout, and the next one will be tomorrow. So if by any chance you are in the Houston area, Steve, I don't know if you'll be there, but maybe. I know you're in the Houston area. So yeah, definitely check these out if you are regional to these areas. They're a really great place to connect with others. In case you cannot attend one of the regional meetups, DynamicsCon Live is also happening. DynamicsCon Live is a conference that happens once per year, and this year it will be in Chicago from May 13th to May 16th in Chicago. I will actually be putting a discount code in the chat because you guys are all here today, and this allows you a 50% off discount. So this will be the lowest price you can get for the conference if you're interested in attending. In case you cannot attend DynamicsCon Live, DynamicsCon Virtual is coming up in November, November 13th to be exact. This is a free event. I'm not sure if the call for speakers is open still. I believe it is. So if you're interested in speaking, you can go to sessionize.com to submit. If speaking isn't your jam, then you can go ahead and just attend the event. It's free, and you can kind of cherry pick sessions that are interested to you. Speaking of the sessions, this is all community voted content. So, your vote matters in this case. So if you're really interested in a particular session, voting will be opening soon. All right, and that's all I have as far as the Doug Meetup stuff goes. I'll be putting some information in the chat, and we can go from there.
All right, Savannah, do you want me to take over?
Yeah, that would be good. I'm not sure if it's happening on your end, but everyone is frozen on my end. So I was just checking to see if
No, they're just sitting very still.
Alrighty.
No, we can hear you as well. So
okay. So how this will work is I will post a link in the chat for the AMA, and all of you can go and ask questions there for Kenny. Kenny, you can go ahead and introduce yourself, and we can go from there.
Awesome. Thanks, Savannah.
Yep.
So my name is Kenny Pontoppidan. I'm a program manager in the product group for Business Central. And I have many different hats, of which one is analytics and reporting and BI all up, both coordinating our platform like capabilities, but also what we call content. So capabilities is ability to do things, whereas content, it would be reports or Power BI reports or Excel reports and so on. So I help with that across the board. Today, I actually am wearing my green Dynamics t-shirt with a proper icon here on the side and on the back. I have even the proper Ask Me Anything. So I thought that would be the appropriate t-shirt for today's session. If I just steal the screen for 1 sec, I guess, for the remaining 45 minutes or so.
Yep.
Here.
Kenny, I'm going to actually drop out and rejoin, just so I can unfreeze. But I'll be back.
Yep. So I'm looking at my screen here, so I'm not ignoring you. My camera is just here. Maybe I can. That's fine. This is the AMA site. Can you see it? Just thumbs up if you, yeah. So this is where things happen. This is where you ask questions, and then I'll be able to see questions, and you can vote questions up and down. That's the link that Savannah put in the chat. It's a really boring AMA session if there are no questions. So what I will do is I will just do a little bit of dancing and presenting a few things to get your kind of imagination going. And then I'll go back and check the AMA side for questions, and hopefully we'll have something there to discuss, and we'll take it from there. Okay. So the first thing is good. We are getting there, and I'm hoping to see Savannah joining again. If not,
I'm back.
Oh, you're back. Perfect. So the reason I wanted you back is that I normally don't necessarily do these user group sessions, but part of my career goal is to support women in technology, and especially the good ones, the great women out there, the volunteers. So of course, when Savannah calls me and asks if I want to join, of course I will, because I want to support her. I want to support the user group, and part of that is also like that I have some things on my mind that I want to, why I want to spread the word. So kudos to Savannah and all the other volunteers for driving this. This is a lot of work that they put into this, and for the benefit of everyone, including me and Microsoft. Now I have something I called I scratch your back, you scratch mine. So I spent an hour here. Instead of writing requirements for new reporting things for the product, I spent time with you here. So this is me spending time with you. This is me scratching your back. So in return, I hope that you will help scratch mine in a few places. The first scratch my back is here on LinkedIn. We have Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central account. I hope that you follow this on LinkedIn to get news. If you don't, please do. And as of today, the team posted a post here about a new blog post that we published yesterday. This is very relevant for this particular topic we're discussing today, which is analytics. So the post here is about thinking about analytics in context of finance in Business Central. And I hope that the second scratch my back is that you go check this out on LinkedIn and repost and like, so that we can amplify this, and hopefully, of course, also that you go and read the blog post and kind of see if that relates to your world. Then the final scratch my back is YouTube. So our product group have a YouTube channel. The hashtag or the account here is Microsoft Dynamics 365 BC. So check that out. Follow us on YouTube. And the reason I say that is that we also have playlists here where we, for instance, when we will launch a new release wave, for instance, the next wave that is coming here in October, the launch event will just happen on YouTube. So we will record from the product group, product and program managers, engineers, short videos on all the new features, and they would be here on a playlist, and you can just consume that at your own pace, or you can throw viewing parties. I know some partners do that, and just gather and kind of learn together. Right, so enough of that. Let me just walk you through a few things that might be of interest, and then we'll go and take questions. The first is what I call the BI triangle, and there's a short URL, and maybe you can see it here in the video. If not, maybe Savannah can post that in the end of this, maybe in the deck or something. But BC reporting, this AKA link here, takes you to our user documentation for analytics, how we want to explain analytics for Business Central users using this, what we call the BI triangle. So the BI triangle is a model. It comes from my days as a business intelligence consultant. This is the way we, back in the days, explained to customers why business intelligence or reporting was important, and for which roles and which tools would fit different analytics scenario. And I think we thought this model explains all of this in a way that many people can relate to that, so we actually put it directly into our documentation. So the first part of this model here is that you have an organizational structure here. You have people doing the quote-unquote tongue-in-cheek real work, and we have middle management here and leadership team up here. And depending on your role, of course, you can have someone working in middle management that is also doing the quote unquote real work. So it's just the type of role you're in. You would have different needs for analytics. For instance, if you work in doing the daily work, you probably need data that is detailed enough to kind of on the level where you work. Whereas the further you go up in organizational hierarchy, the more you also have a need to aggregate data. So this is why middle management typically need trends and summaries, and probably also need to have ad hoc analysis or ad hoc queries. I'll come back to that. Whereas up in the leadership in the board meeting is where you likely will have highly aggregated data like KPIs or financial statements and so on. So this relates directly to here on the right side of that triangle, typical ways to consume this data. So on-screen or operational data reports for staff-like work, more aggregated reports and ad hoc analysis for middle management, and a KPIs, dashboards, and financial reporting when you sit in leadership. So this is how we try to put all analytics features into these, see which scenario, which role, and then kind of cater different products or different types of analytics for different users. So this is a model, and then in context of so this is very abstract maybe, so to make it concrete for each area in Business Central, we if I take the next link here, we describe the BI triangle in context of finance, sales, purchasing, inventory, fixed assets, management, sustainability, and others. So there's a link here to financial analytics, for instance, and this takes you into the finance documentation, and finance documentation have a financial analytics where all of what I just described is now explained with examples from finance. So you would have, you can see here, you still have the analytic needs, and but now the roles are explained as CFO, CEO, the finance department management, or the bookkeeper as doing the, or controllers could also be part of middle management or needing the detailed data. So if you work, or if your customers work in any of the modules in Business Central, we're trying to establish a home in documentation for how to think of analytics and which tools are there. So that's the BI triangle. The next link I want to show you is something new, and this is actually something very new. This is coming in the October release. These are Power BI reports for finance, purchasing, sales, in inventory, manufacturing, and projects. So I'm not going to show you a lot because this is very much not released at all. But I will show you something where we already released screenshots. So I'll show you two things. So financial overview here is for the finance manager, for the CFO, where they get like some of the most common financial KPIs directly in the report, and a few of the, let's say, sub-reports, or a few of these have their own reports directly, or sub widgets, or whatever we call visuals here. There's an ability to filter on financial year, fiscal year here, and then each of these reports will have their own Power BI report page, and they will also very soon in Business Central, likely, I don't know, maybe let's say likely November timeline, each of these will be embedded in the Business Central client as well. or in the app, in the Business Central app, or yeah, so they will also be searchable from Tell Me and directly available inside Business Central. So this is a finance overview. Since it will be embedded, these reports are actually also multi-language. So let's say that you have some Spanish users. You can switch to Spanish and they will be translated with all the headings and so on here, most. I can see there are a few bugs here, but we're working on that. And also the data labels will also be translated into the proper language. So here you can see the month, day of month, the name of month will also be translated to the language of choice. So this is the financial overview, and I think in the blog post yesterday we showed the profitability. So this is another report. You can see which company this is in. You can see when the report was last refreshed, and of course you can use Copilot directly here from the Power BI service. So if you have questions about what this is about or exact summary, however the Copilot, the Power BI Copilot will be able to summarize in natural language the whatever is shown on this report. Whether it makes sense or not, I'm not going to go through that here. But that's this Copilot will likely in the beginning first only be available in the Power BI service, not the embedded experience, simply because we from Business Central can only embed the actual report, not the surrounding infrastructure up here. But that's just a technicality. So this is coming. Everything I show, I actually have a deck, a PowerPoint deck. If you're interested in using that, this AKA link that we can share later, BC data analysis, I think, yeah, BC data analysis takes you to a GitHub repository where there's a link here for decks, and in here there are PowerPoint decks in case you want to do this presentation or similar presentation on Business Central Analytics. There are different decks, and the one I'm using here is this one. That's it. We talked about LinkedIn, we talked about Dynamics or YouTube. The last one before we get to the MA is this one, BC users. Since this is a user group session, this is appropriate. So BC users as an AKA link will take you to a landing page in documentation that tries to gather all these AKA links, short links we have on various topics, so that you just need to remember one AKA link for which is aka.ms/BC users, and then there are kind of pointers to everything, including the one I just showed you. BC reporting is the one. All right, let's see if we have any questions. Oh, we do. Perfect. So the first question is, I don't know if it's really a question for this session, but there's a new report layout page. When will it be deprecated? So how many times do we do the migration from old to new page to the new page? Okay, so the new report layout page is not going to be deprecated. That's kind of the new place where we have report layouts for all reports. There's an older version of this that is being deprecated, and and we added a new connection lost. And still, where we recently added an action to, I think it's called custom report layouts or something, we added an action to that page, the old page, where you can migrate your layouts into the new page, into the new model. So yeah, and there's no don't have any expectation on. So the report layouts page is there to stay. That's kind of where we want to take things forward for the layout experience. Archive, yeah. Okay, when creating Power BI reports for Business Central, can you think of a use case where there would be a benefit to go through Microsoft Fabric rather than directly from APIs and connectors? This is a great question. I think so. First of all, right now there's no out-of-the-box way to get Business Central data in Microsoft Fabric One Lake, like click. If you're interested in that, let me just go back to the AKA BC reporting. This one here, the final part of this section in the table of content has an article about Microsoft Fabric and Business Central. You can also just search for that. Let's just try that. Microsoft Fabric. Let's just see if we get, there you go. So actually the search in the Learn or Docs content is pretty good. So if I just go there, this is an article that explains where our vision is for Business Central data in Fabric. What we've stated here is that, let's see, or maybe we changed that. Let's see. Okay, okay. So we do have. I think this article was updated. So I haven't seen this version. So we do have a vision of getting Business Central data into One Lake in Fabric as something you just configure, but I don't have a timeline for that to share yet. So you just need to kind of look at the release plans when we get to that. I'm pretty sure that when hopefully we get to that there will be a lot of noise on that. So why would you want to use Fabric One Lake as a data source for your Power BI reports? There are a couple of reasons. One is that if we manage to get Business Central data live replicated into One Lake, Power BI can read data from One Lake directly without doing import mode or direct query. It will just, it's called lake centric, I think, and that means there's no refresh needed of data. There's no impact on the Business Central database or environment to refresh data or anything. It just works out of the box. So that would be nice to get to that. There's a cost to Fabric, especially if you want to use Fabric, the Copilot parts of Fabric to author reports, for instance. So for that, it might be that Fabric is not the natural choice for all Business Central customers. There will still be customers who are happy with just using the out-of-the-box shipped reports, Power BI or Excel, or in-client ad hoc analysis as well. And so it depends on type of customer. What I have typically seen with interviews with partners and customers is that the higher you get up in complexity or size in the SMB space, the more I get the question about Fabric. So lower end of the market, in the small part of SMB, it's likely that a lot of customers will just use what's out of the box. So that's at least that's how I see Fabric and Business Central. I hope that was answering your question. If not, then put a new one there. When in competition with NetSuite, Business Central often seemed weaker when it came to reporting. This big focus on reports out in release is wave 2 is great. What can you tell us about 2025 release wave 1 on the topic of reporting? Yeah, I can't really share much. We are doing the planning right now for Wave 1, 2025 Wave 1, and not going to disclose anything on that. I can just tell you that we are not done with the reporting, so we still have work to do, and we have a hunger for investing more to make sure that reporting and analytics is what people expect in an ERP system in 2024. It is true that we were in the past was when comparing with other competitors that we had a weaker reporting story. I think now we are getting on par, and I'm pretty sure that very soon we'll be above our competitors on this. But that's of course our customers to tell me, or partners to tell me that whether we are getting there. Can you tell us or show us anything related to the Power BI reports dropping? Yeah, I did that already. So there's also I go here and say AKA BC reporting. Let's see if I can get something from the release plan here as well. Release 2024 Wave 2. See if I can get to a release plan. Oh, that was a bit too much. Okay, let's just search for it. So let's do Copilot, and let's just say what's new in Power BI reports for Business Central in 2024 Wave 2. I don't need the question mark, but I kind of like that. So let's see if Copilot has anything to say about that. New reports. Yeah, we have finance, sales, purchasing, invoice, inventory, and manufacturing and projects. Actually, something Copilot doesn't know, we do have 2 apps for inventory. So there's also an inventory valuation report. So that if you do that kind of search, I'm pretty sure that if I go here, this is the release plan, and down here under application, there's something about our new reports. Let's see if I can find them here. No, not. Oh, maybe it's under reporting. Let me just. Use embedded Power BI reports out of the box. So this is the official statement from the release plan, where it states the new reports. And we are actually shipping 2 inventory apps, one with normal inventory reports and one with inventory valuation reports. So hopefully that will be pretty cool. Okay. I love the use of small Factbox Power BI mini charts, but deploying them is not so easy. Users needing to select. Are there any plans to help deployment of Power BI reports across different pages? Yes, actually there is something. So we have been cooking a few things here. Last release wave, we added more easier ways for developers to embed reports. And if I just go here to the developer documentation, BC developer here, let's see if I can find the right place for you. So under the developer IT Pro or developer documentation, there's a section called data analytics and reporting. This is the same kind of content with the BI triangle, but now this is in context of helping a developer or consultant to build something. So not consumer, that's the user experience. This is developer documentation. And in here you have a lot of documentation for embedding Power BI. There's also a video on here. Let me just see under what's new in release wave 1. No, I didn't want that. Or maybe I did. Let's just, sorry. This was not what I wanted now. So if I see if I can find this. popular. This is not a good way. This is a bit wasted user. So here, if you search on this YouTube site on Power BI, there's a video on the new developer experience or tools. We'll add more to that, and actually there is already some tooling on our BC Tech repository. So if I go to BC Power BI PBI samples, so this URL here, aka.ms/BC PBI samples. This have code samples for how to do Power BI. Also, so this is the PBI 22.3 samples. This is AL sample code to help with embedding things. We also added the multi-language reports I just showed. They actually come with a small tool, or we used a small tool for this translation, and we open sourced that. We're going to probably do a video for the launch event, but this is already here. So Translation Builder is a tool, open source tool by the Power BI CAT team. We made it in a version where this tool can use regex files, resource files, to do translations. And we also added a code generator here for embedding Power BI reports. So with this embed app generator, the program manager like me can describe how I would like my Power BI reports to be embedded in pages or on role centers as full page embeds, including the about text and learning links and what have you. And then this code here can generate all the AL code for that app, and you can just use that as a PTE or in your ISV solution. So there are different options for you as a developer there. All right. Is there any development taking place for creating and connecting to data in more efficiently? Web services and APIs can still load slowly into Power BI. I want to challenge. So right now, that's the supported way using APIs. I would encourage you to use API queries. That's the most efficient way. For that, there is also a sample here under BC Tech called API Query Generator. This is a small tool I wrote similar to the embed generator. So with this thing here, you can describe which tables and fields as CSV files you would like to have exposed as APIs. And this tool can generate all the API AL code for you. You just need to package this and deploy as a PTE, and you have exposed the data that you need as API queries. So the fastest thing you can do. The idea with this tool was that a BI team could use this as a configurator and then package this into some DevOps pipeline so that they don't need to go through the ERP team, development team. If the BI guys want to expose things, they should be able to express it in these CSV files, and with a little bit of DevOps magic, be able to deploy new versions of the APIs fairly quickly. Now, the deployment pipelines is not something I have built. I just wrote the tool. So that's and then for the question about speed, if I go here and say aka.msbc performance, this is our performance tuning guide. And if I go on the developer part here and find performance patterns for business intelligence and reporting, there's something here, but just one sec. How to load data efficiently into Power BI. There's a section for that here, describing how query folding works with APIs. So that's one thing. And the second part is when you talk about extracting data from Business Central into a warehouse, or also just in an import model in Power BI. There's a link here to an article on that, also here in our documentation. This is all developer documentation. This describes ways to do that, and also as an article about the throughput of reading data through APIs. We did some measurements with customers, and it seems like at least these guys, they are able to read sequentially like 7 gigs an hour or 120 megabytes per minute, which means a refresh of a full refresh of a semantic model in Power BI is feasible within a nightly batch, even if you do it like everything. If you don't want to do it sequentially, I'm sure you can find ways with your BI partners to do such a load in parallel. We have protected the service, I think it was last release wave, so that we have per environment queues and also per user queues on reading from APIs. This means that an aggressive refresh like this from Power BI or with Azure Data Factory to a data warehouse will only affect the user reading, which means if you do it through APIs like this, you would still have other API calls or web service calls being able to go through to the Business Central environment for other users. So in the past, one aggressive approach like this could actually block, say, other integrations. Not anymore, at least if you use different users for it. All right, next one. Can you share the link for the LinkedIn page that you showed us? Yes, of course. I will put this into the chat right here. There you go. It was an easy question. Can you discuss any additional improvements to the Excel reporting in Business Central that are planned for the future after the October release? So there are 2 parts to this question. Excel reporting can either be capabilities, so things you can do with the Excel layouts feature, the platform feature. And for that part, I don't actually have more things like more features I want to add to that. As I see it right now, I don't know of any more asks from customers, partners on things they cannot do with the feature. So that's one part. So there will be one thing added to the October release, which is what's called named formulas. So an easier way to get, actually I can just show that real quick here. So I have somewhere, just one sec. So what we made it easier to let me just find the type here. It was here. Yeah. Let me see if I'm sharing this screen. So this should show up, I guess. This was not the. Actually, I should not do that in a recording because you never know what you're going to get. Here, this one. So what we are adding to make it easier to do Excel reports in the next wave is, I might have some funky issues here with my screen, is so you see this aggregated metadata worksheet is something that came a few releases back. So in case you want to have a layout that maybe shows the username that ran the report, you would need to do a fairly complicated XLOOKUP expression to get to that thing there. What we are doing instead, or to help with this, is that you can actually just do, let's see, report requests dot, okay, it was not here. Okay, then that doesn't fly. Okay, so that I didn't plan for that demo. What basically what you can do soon is you can do report request dot username instead. Oh, that I know why. It's because I should use proper syntax equals, and I'm in a, just one sec, I'm switching between keyboards here. So equals report metadata. You can actually see the named formulas here. So I could see report metadata dot report requests dot state. And if I do that, then this is encapsulating an XLOOKUP that will just get whatever date was here. So let's say this was 2024 dash something like this. Then you can see the, oh sorry, this would then be, if only, of course, in live demos, we are report requests dot date. Come on. Requests. Or let's say username maybe. So in this case, the username would be wherever the username. Oh, it's because I put username instead of date. That's why. Okay. So to make all of these lookups easier, we have added what's called named formulas, and this magic you saw there is just basically that we are injecting these into the Excel workbooks. So just to make it very easy, you can see all these lookups, XLOOKUPs here. Anything you want to get to in this worksheet, you can use one of these named formulas. So that's the only new thing in the Power BI, in the Excel report capability. Then for actual reports or content, right now we have 11, 3 in sustainability, a couple in sales, and the rest in finance. They are all the sustainability reports, I think they are GA, generally available. The other reports are still in public preview because we still want to sort out a few things with performance and other things. So they will get there. And I have seen a couple of new Excel reports coming in wave here in 2024, wave 2. So look out for those. And I expect us to do more on that, where it makes sense to have an Excel report. All right, so next question. In small Power BI projects, is there a drawback in terms of performance to make APIs with full tables and modify in Power Query versus tailoring your API for specific Power BI needs? So that's there is so actually the developer link I showed with Power Query folding. There is some intelligence from Power Query to kind of reduce the whatever is sent to Business Central. Let's say that you're reading something from an API, but you only want some of the fields. That is one of the things where Power Query is clever to do query folding. So when Power Query calls Business Central with APIs using OData, there will be a projector operator put in to only kind of ask for the fields that you need. So for some things, Power Query is smart enough to just make it performant for you. For other things, it might be that you're better off. I think there's a general rule in data warehousing that you should push things as close to the source as possible. So sometimes it makes sense. It could make sense to maybe push an aggregation down in an API query, so it's happening close to the database and only and processing power of the database to do that aggregation and just only get the aggregated data. In some other places, you need the detailed data for your Power BI report, so you cannot push the aggregation too much to Business Central. So that was a non-answer maybe, but the best one I could provide. Oh, this one, this was additions to Excel. We did that. We are in the process of upgrading from NAV 2017 to SAS. We have item template created. Now they're missing. Any ideas how to go? You would need to do a support case for that. I don't know. I'm not an expert in the application, so I'm not the right one to answer that question. Sorry. Will you be able to modify the dataset and reports for the Power BI reports that you showed, or will they be shipped in form of an app? So, good question. All of them good questions. So, the idea of the new Power BI reports is that we want to ship. So, first of all, they will be shipped here in autumn as what's called Power BI template apps. So you go to App Source, you install an app, Power BI app there, and now you have reports. You then install an app on Business Central, probably pre-installed, with all the APIs, and you configure that app to point to your Power BI workspace where the reports have been installed, and now they work together. You can refresh. That's the intent. That's the way we ship things. Now, modify will likely lock the reports and apps for the next 6 months so not completely giving it away for now, not because I don't want to give it away, but because we expect to have lots of feedback on small things we can adjust here and there. We want to do that. And once we are happy with a next iteration of that, it's likely that we will open source all of it and just give it away for free. So that if you as a customer or partner want to take whatever is built in and adjust, you can clone it, take a copy and do your own. It's just hard with Power BI to merge back. There's a different option for modification, which is something that's possible to set in the Power BI service, where users can, if that's enabled on the report, users can change personal visuals on reports. So that is possible without actually changing the model. Right, and the last question here. What can you tell us about Project Yellowstone? Yeah, this is just this is just a code name for the new Power BI reports. So that's just because everything needs to have a code name when you talk about it, and Yellowstone was the one I picked for that. All right, that's all the questions. Let me just go back to the chat and see if there's anything. No, there's nothing there. In case you want to do, just get this in here. This was the PowerPoint deck I explained in the beginning. That is on BC Tech or this sample GitHub. In case you want to talk about the things I talk about here, there's a sample deck of 24 slides that shows kind of where things are. So developer docs here. This is the BI triangle. This is just a provoking slide I used to do in the beginning of this transformation, mainly for developers. Since 5 years ago, the only thing you could do for analytics would be build an RDL report. So, but now there are so many other options, including queries or list pages with data analysis, Excel reports, Power BI. So instead of, if a customer says, can you build me an RDL report, stop saying, sure, what's the field and format. Instead, just what would you like to analyze and for what, and then choose the tool of choice. And all of this is part of this developer docs here under analyzing data analytics and reporting. This is the reporting docs for the users. And this was what I explained about analytics per functional area. Financial analytics are also something new coming in the next wave, is that both the documentation for financial reporting, formerly known as account schedules, So the documentation is going to have a huge overhaul coming up very soon. And also in wave 2, 2024 wave 2, there will be a lot of new templates added for financial reports and column definitions and so on. So just making it much easier to roll your own. This deck also have video. This was actually the video I was looking for. So if you take the deck and then you know what to search for in the YouTube video on different things. So Power BI for developers. There's what else? Yeah, plenty of things here. Go check that out. I think we are getting close to the hour and no more questions. So maybe I will hand it back over to you, Savannah, to kind of wrap up and then let's call it a day.
Sounds good. Hopefully Teams doesn't freeze on me again.
No, we can see you.
Thank you, Kenny, so much for a great meetup. Before everyone gets off today, I'll be posting a link in the chat, and that will be linking to the Indiana Doug user group on Meetup. We have a lot of good events coming up, ranging from Copilot, Business Central, Power Platform, etc. And if you are interested in speaking at one of these events, feel free to message me, connect with me on LinkedIn. We're always looking for more speakers. And for those of you that are in Indiana, the reason why I'm kind of shifting to more of an online focus is, one, you reach more of an audience, and two, it's going to start snowing in the next few months, so it makes travel a little bit more difficult. But yeah, thank you guys all so much for attending. If you have any feedback for Kenny, I'm sure he'd be happy to hear it too. I don't know if you have.
Oh, Savannah, one more thing, just to scratch my back. So remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Remember to go to LinkedIn and kind of help us amplify and follow the Business Central team on LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
Very important.
Yes. I will also post all of those links in the chat. On the Meetup platform, there is a discussion section. I will probably post a large form link post there. So that will have my LinkedIn, Kenny's, the BC team, the YouTube channel, everything. So it's all in one cohesive place, as well as links that Kenny referenced today. Yeah. Thank you guys all so much for attending.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thanks again, Kenny. You're muted.
It helps to
go.
unmute. Yeah. No, I was just asking if you had stopped the recording yet, so that we could just chat.
Good idea.